Do you find IELTS writing task 1 is the most difficult part of the IELTS? Do you get confused without knowing how to categorize the given information in task 1? If so, this video is right for you. Hello, I'm Alisher Abdullayev, experienced IELTS instructor, and in this video lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write an amazing IELTS writing task 1 report, particularly pie charts. Without further ado, let's get started. By the way, do you know that IELTS writing task 1 is a report, not an essay? Because we just summarize the given information without stating our personal opinion. First of all, I'm going to teach you types of pie charts. First, we can have single pie chart, double pie chart, and multiple pie charts. If we have single pie chart, all we have to do is compare the given information with each other. If we have double pie charts, different years, for example, in 1999 and 2009, we have the same information but two different years. We have to compare them, and we can say increase and decrease. But if we have two pie charts without years and different information, different groups of information, in this case we cannot say increase or decrease. We will just categorize this given information, compare them with each other without stating increase and decrease. Finally, we have multiple pie charts. In multiple pie charts, grouping, selecting the key figures is very important. We mostly describe pie charts in percentages. It's quite rare to see numbers in pie charts. Let's see the structure of pie charts. First, we will write introduction. An introduction part, we will just paraphrase the given task. And then we will write an overall. In overall part, we have to give the biggest and the smallest proportion. If it is double pie chart, we can state about the biggest increase and the smallest increase. If we have multiple pie charts, we should group the main increases and decreases. You can state significantly notable part as well. We can hardly have single pie chart in our exam. If we have single pie chart, first we will group the biggest segments with the smallest one, and we will compare among each other. In terms of grammar, we mostly use active tenses, but you can use passive voices as well. If there is past years, we can use past simple, past passive, and past perfect tense. If there is no year, we can use present simple and present perfect tenses. If the year is future, we will use future tenses. So now let's see full example for double pie chart.
Here we have double pie chart with years, and if you pay attention, we have 1995 and 2005. In this type of pie chart, as I mentioned, we can write about increases and decreases. Breakdown of this essay will be introduction, overall, and body 1 and body 2. Let's see them with examples. So here we have introduction. So task says the pie chart show a comparison of energy production in a country between 1995 and 2005. Changed version, so I wrote the pie chart compare the various proportion of energy generated from various sources in a particular country in the years 1995 and 2005. If you pay attention, I highlighted the words which I changed: show, compare, energy production, energy generated, and between 1995 and 2005 in the years 1995 and 2005. And now let's talk about overall part. So in overall, we should say general trend. So what is the general trend? Increase or decrease? And the biggest and the small shares we will mention about. If you pay attention here, in 1995, the biggest segment is coal, 29.80, and also gas. We have petrol, not petrol, but petrol. Almost they are similar. Nuclear, other. What happens in 2005? Coal is increasing, gas also increased, petrol, nuclear increased, others, you see, increase. However, we have petrol here, which is the only item, only source that decreased over 10 period time. So we will mention general trend is increase, only petrol is decreasing. Here's our overall. Overall, there were notable shifts in the scale of energy supply over the decade. In particular, coal and gas became the major sources of power supply, while energy production from petrol experienced a significant decline. So as you can see here, I highlighted this part as red because it's grammar. We are using past tense accordingly because we have 1995 and 2005. Notice here we have shifts, right? So all the trend is increasing except the petrol over the decade. So again, instead of writing 1995 and 2005, I just paraphrased it. In particularly, we are highlighting coal and gas became the major source. Coal and gas became the major source of power supply. Petrol experienced a significant decline. So as you can see, I'm writing about increases and the main increases. So I'm highlighting one decrease here, which is petrol. So now let's move to body 1. Body 1, description of 1995, grouping the highest and the lowest figure. So again, let's pay attention to this time frame. 1995, again, we have coal, gas, and petrol, which were the main source of energy production. Nuclear and others were relatively small compared to these sources. So I will group coal, gas, petrol in one sentence, and other nuclear will be in one sentence. 1995, coal comprised. See, coal comprised the highest proportion of the power production at, again, giving the proportions in percentages, followed closely by gas, right, and petrol. So I'm mentioning here the highest proportion, which is coal, and also closely followed by these two sources. However, I'm using this transition word to compare with the highest and the smallest proportion. The proportion of nuclear energy and other sources together accounted for just over 10%, which means if we add these two numbers together, we'll have more than 11. So I'm writing here, instead of writing 11%, just over 10% of the total energy generation. So here is our body 1 paragraph, mentioning only 1995 and grouping highest and comparing with the lowest. Body 2, describing 2005, mentioning increases and decreases, making comparisons. Let's see. By 2005, there had been, pay attention, had been by past perfect, obvious growth in the proportions of power output. We are using different lexical resources here from different sources. Coal became the highest energy source, reaching this, while the proportion of gas also climbed to 30.31, almost equaling coal. In contrast, we are making comparison here, there was a dramatic decline in energy output from petrol, dropping to 1955, marking a sharp fall from its previous level. It was noticeably higher in 1995, but in 2005, it saw a marked decline. So again, comparison. Although the proportion of nuclear power saw a significant increase, it means that nuclear power increased from 6.40 to 10.10. It still remains the lowest source of energy in general. 10% is the lowest compared to coal and proportion of gas. It still remains the lowest. The category of others also experienced tremendous rise, growing by 2 times to 9.10%. So it grew and doubled its number, indicating that its proportion had become substantial compared to 1995. So it means that from 1995 till 2005, over a 10 years period, other sources also saw a marked rise. Here is the full version of our essay. You can pause the video and read, learn vocabulary, grammar structure, how to group information. That's all for this lesson. I'll see you in our next online video lessons. Bye-bye.